Broadcasting from the Penguin Air Plumbing and Electrical Studios, we're your hosts, Will Howlett and Wade Rusk, and this is the Penguin Pro Show. The Penguin Pro Show is an informative podcast talking about air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and electrical systems in the home. Each week, we'll bring on a panel of professionals to educate listeners on different topics related to these systems. Good morning, Wade.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
How was your weekend?
Pretty chill. How about you?
Excellent. Was up at the cabin, getting it painted, have a lot of work being done up there. So that's always fun.
Yeah, it's looking nice. You showed me some pictures and FaceTimed me. It looks
Yeah, it
really
had
good.
some yellow color all over the walls, and then you talked me into going to the white, which is nice. A much better contrast with the blinds and the ceiling. Now they had the knotty pine tongue and groove done and the floors.
Yeah, it's
Looks
brightened
really
it
nice.
up. Brightened it up nicely.
Yeah.
Anything else go on?
At the cabin?
Yep.
Nope.
Nope. Was it cold?
That's it. Dropped my dog off at camp this morning.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting.
That's the highlight of my life right now.
Yeah, Tucker's at camp right now as we speak.
Yeah, he's at camp. They have cameras in every playroom, so I can watch him.
It's awesome. He's going to do good
He
there.
looks happy. He's having a lot of fun. He's in a room with like 10 other dogs.
And he'll be the top dog there for
It's
sure.
a huge load off my shoulders. I've had him with me, like attached to me, day and night, basically, for the last year.
Yeah, it's going to be nice for you. It's going to free up some good stuff for you and be able to do some fun things. It's like having a kid,
I'm
right?
excited.
I have 3 kids. I can imagine having my kids with me at work every day. So it's good.
Or a
It'll be
dog.
good. Yeah, or a dog. Well, today we have on the show, we're excited to have Louie back on the show. He's our plumbing manager. Of course, Jay Kline's here. They're both Penguin pros here at Penguin Air Plumbing and Electrical. And today we're going to be talking about water treatment, but not just softeners. We're going to talk about how you can filtrate the whole house and drink from every faucet, basically, right? Mm-hmm. And what that process looks like when customers want to look at, treating the water in their home. So Wade and we have some questions, but we're going to kind of turn it over to you guys, and you guys can kind of talk about from start to finish what that looks like and let our listeners know how important it is to have clean water in the home. So, Jay, why don't you take over?
Well, I think we've done some recent water quality testing, and we've been through some of that stuff. And one of the biggest things, and Louie, you can probably talk about it a little bit more, that I was so, shocked with was the chlorine levels that we have in our water here in the valley. I mean, you can literally use a lot of times, especially in the summer, because right as it's hotter, they have to put more chlorine in the water to keep everything good and clean, and because of course the chlorine gets burnt off in the heat. So you can literally take a pool test kit that you would test the chlorine levels in your pool, especially in the summer here, and test your water coming in to the house, and it'll actually give you chlorine levels like it would in your pool, which is just crazy to think that you're cooking and showering and drinking pool water. I mean, it's kind of nuts to think about.
It is.
I mean, we tell our kids, like, hey, don't drink the pool water, right? It's not good for you, yet
You might
that's
as
what
well.
we're bringing into our house all the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nuts when you think about that. And that was one of the most shocking things to me, is how much chlorine they actually put into the water. Of course, to kill all the other stuff in there, but man, now you're drinking that other chemical.
Have you guys tasted that water that out of the faucet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty gross, right?
It tastes like pool water.
Yeah.
When I learned that, I was blown away, and I also learned that your skin and hair and all that absorbs chlorine like a sponge. Mm-hmm. So when you're showering, you may as well shower in your pool.
Yeah.
So everybody knows they need air conditioning here in the summer, but they don't realize just how important it is to filter your water in your home, and not just at the sink, like where you're showering and everywhere, I think.
Well, it's just, you see the green stuff that comes out of the faucets, right? The out of the spout, you see how it just builds up. It affects your washing machine inside. It affects what else? A refrigerator when it's making ice. If your ice isn't coming out clear, do you see it when you have ice, right? You see it frozen. It's white.
Yeah, it almost looks milky white.
That's all the chemicals that are just frozen in that ice. And if you really start to look at it that way, it's pretty gross. It's pretty gross how it's like you see a clear ice, how it's like clear water, pure water, and then you got a white ice that's just chemically just frozen. It's weird. It's weird.
Something I've noticed as well is like when your ice melts in a glass, and you have all these weird white flakes at the bottom of that glass.
Right?
And I'm
All
like,
that
what is that?
Yeah.
And we're drinking all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy, like you brought up, how much your hair and your body absorbs all those chemicals, all that chlorine. We did an awesome test that we actually had a water quality expert in here, and we did a test. We did like a Facebook Live video not too long ago. And if you stir your finger in that same cup of water that you just tested for the chlorine levels, and it comes back showing it has the chlorine levels that you have in your pool, you literally just take your finger and stir in the cup for a little bit, for 30 seconds, retest it, and the chlorine's gone. And just that little bit absorbed right into your finger. So it's kind of crazy how when you're showering in that stuff, how much does get absorbed into your body and your hair and everything else.
Wow, that's I would never think to, when I shower, I don't have a water softener or water treatment on my home because there's a reason for that, and we're trying to figure that out actually as we speak.
But it's obvious. I mean, look at your skin.
I know it's always dry, but that's what I was going to. My skin's always dry. I have to lotion up
kidding.
like crazy.
I was
But
teasing. You actually
I do have oily skin.
Oily skin. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
have
meant.
oily skin, but yeah, I'm
Moist
always
was
dry
the
like
word.
all the time, and I want soft water, but I don't have a loop. You know, I bought this house a year and a half ago. I don't have a lot of things that I can do that we normally do. So what do we do for customers to get softeners and water treatment in the home?
The first thing to do would be to test the water. See, for example, your refrigerator, right? The water you get out of your refrigerator, that filter does nothing. We go out there and test the refrigerator line, and it's just the chlorine levels are just the same as coming out of the faucet. It's just it's just so shocking, because the best investment you can do is to honestly purify your whole house. I mean, why would you allow all these chemicals that you're going to shower with, you're going to cook with it, you're going to
Brush your teeth.
everything is you're going to put it inside your body. And it's like some people take health really serious. But just because you're eating right, you're showering and doing all these things every day, that's just allowing your body, it's hurting your body. It's you got to understand that water in Arizona is recycled. It's, how do you make something that's going down the toilet come back up and look clear? You have to put so many chemicals on it, and that's what's going that's what's going in us. And I just highly suggest to have somebody come out and just test it and show you where a good place for it would be, because after you go softener, you would never go back. You would never go back, just simply because the water tastes better. You no longer have your faucets, your everything just starts to go away. The green buildup, the calcium buildup starts to go away.
And the white flaky buildup around the
All that,
faucets.
your ice. I mean, it was just, everything's just, you taste
Also,
water.
I heard the dishwasher, the dishes come out a lot better too, right?
Correct.
So you don't have all those water stains on the dishes, and
Because that's hard water
so for all those.
that leaves those stains.
Yeah, it's the same white buildup
Right.
that's staying around the bottom of your faucets and all that stuff that builds up. It's the same thing that leaves all those bad water spots on your dishes.
One thing I hear a lot out here is like, oh, I just have really hard water. And I'm like, it's gross. When you say that, it's not, oh, it's just hard, it's just really hard. It's like, no, you have a lot of chemicals in there. This is not healthy. This is not good for you. That's one thing. It's like, let's replace hard with bad. I have bad water, and it's like, it changes everything. Like, what do you mean by bad? I was shocked by that test that he did a couple months ago. I was shocked. And that's when I told you, I said, man, we should probably do that on here. We probably should have, but at the same time, like when I saw that, and it's still on our Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. They can go on there and see it. When I saw that, I said, wow, it's like drinking pool water. Mm-hmm. That's pretty gross, right? Is it not? Yeah. It's not. How healthy can that be for you?
The levels of the chlorine were just as high as it was out of the pool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Same levels.
Yeah.
And also it saves the pipes too, right? So
It
you
does.
guys talk about that flaky stuff around the faucets, but that's building up inside the pipes too.
Correct.
And does it help the water heater too?
Yeah.
Water heater. It's just the water that comes in is just so it's so important, because it's just like an artery. It starts to close. You know, all that stuff that's coming and just building up, it starts to close, and then people start to wonder why their water pressure is so low. You know, why their faucet keeps leaking, why it's like why this is happening, why is my washer acting up, why is the dishwasher doing this? It's all because what you're feeding it, right? You're feeding that your home and yourself a bunch of chemicals.
It's like cholesterol in our bodies.
Correct.
You know, we're clogging all our arteries with these hard water. Okay, so you talked about how you can drink from every faucet too, right? So is there a difference between a softener and a whole house water treatment system, or is it all together? Kind of explain how those systems work.
I'm gonna let Jay take this one.
Well, so there's two different kinds of, there's a ton of different kinds of them, right? But there's like a water softener, which is usually a salt-based system, right? So that's where you go buy your bags of salt from Home Depot or the grocery store, and you have to fill those up in your water softener. So that's one side, and that's soft water, right? That's a water softener. That helps remove all the hard water from the system, and that's where some people get that. You kind of get out and your skin feels, moist. It feels like you just put on lotion, right? It doesn't feel like
I would have said smooth.
smooth.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Silky.
feel dry. It feels like you just put lotion on,
Yeah.
after you get out of the shower, instead of getting that dry, flaky feeling where you feel like you have to put on lotion right after you get out of the shower. So that's one of the big benefits of soft water. But the biggest thing is with soft water, it removes a lot of that out of the home, but it's not completely drinking quality water at every faucet. So to get that, you need to take, a lot of people know of like the RO systems that go into your sink. So to get a whole home water purification system where you can do that is pretty much taking one of those RO, point of use drinking waters systems and putting a big one on your whole house. So it's running through carbon filters, several different sediment filters. So it's pulling everything out and giving you that drinking water quality all throughout the house. So those are kind of the two big differences that you can get. And, there's benefits to each one. Of course, some people it's not pleasant to get salt and constantly refill that for the regeneration and putting that salt in there when it goes down. But then on the other side, you have to replace some of the filter media in those whole home filter systems, just like you have to replace your RO filters about once a year. So you'll have to replace, usually a generic filter on that as well, every couple years. So there's the plus and minuses of both. I prefer, because I'm not a fan of the smooth, tight feeling when I get out of the shower. I actually like a true whole home water purification system.
And if you look at those filters, that's telling too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's like an air filter in your house, but for your water.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, like we're so far behind the times. Like everybody takes their air purification serious now, but I still feel like very few homes are using a water filtration system, and homeowners aren't educated on it.
Yeah, they're not as concerned about the water they're drinking. And also,
It's just a conversation that's not being had.
look at all the plastic, all the stuff we're dumping into the landfills because of bottled water.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, imagine what you can save on that as well, right? I mean, I saw some kind of statistics on that. That was crazy. How
It
much?
was $900 a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's
That's a good point.
you can have all that water filtered. You can drink in your shower. You can drink at the faucet. You can drink anywhere you want.
That's why I let him explain that, because he the way he explains that, it's like having an RO, but you're just making a bigger one. Like, that's the best way to put it, because you're catching it right before, when that city water comes into your house, you're catching it right before it goes into anything, your heater, before it starts to affect anything.
Is it before the water softener too?
It's before, yes, before the
So it's
softener.
before everything, and then your water heater and all that.
Yes.
Because we've brought this up before on plumbing. Your water heater can have inches and inches of white sediment or calcium buildup or whatever that stuff
that
is.
stuff
at the
that's built at the bottom of the glass that you're talking about, it looks
Yeah.
just like that in
and
the
it
heater.
fills up the
Yeah.
bottom of your water heater.
Yeah.
And so your 50 gallons now like a 40 gallon, and that's why you have to flush that every year.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get a tankless for my cabin, but I understand that you don't want to destroy your tankless water heater, so you definitely want a filtration system
Yeah.
before it.
You got to have a filtration system before it. And, we do humidifiers as well. Anything that you're wanting to put on your home that's like that, that's a good, high dollar item. We do have, like Louie brought up, everybody's like, oh, well, my water's just hard. Like, yeah, Phoenix, Arizona in general has hard water, but you don't have to accept it.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways that we can actually prevent and cure the hard water problem so that you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to replace your faucets, every couple of years just because they corrode, or your outdoor spigots outside. And I think that's one of the biggest things people don't understand is it's not just the buildup. Like, that stuff corrodes. Like,
Well, I had a very expensive humidifier, Honeywell humidifier. It wasn't just like a plug-in one. It was mounted in the ductwork above the furnace at the cabin. That thing died in a year because the bottom of it, where the water, it had a water line going to it, but there was a thing that held the water in the bottom of it or whatever. That thing filled up with white, flaky, hard water, calcium buildup stuff. It destroyed the humidifier.
And it clogged all the lines.
So definitely need to get a filtration system at the cabin.
yeah, and one of the other big things that you can be really telling is people who use, like, say, a steamer for their clothes, right? I use a steamer every day. If you use your regular tap water from the city, and before we put the water purification on our house, we were killing steamers all the time. Or the same with, like, our carpet cleaning machine, right?
Yeah.
Or just
irons. Yeah, how your
And
iron,
the white
like, you
stuff that gets on your clothes?
gets white. That's what's in your water, and that's what you're drinking. And that's a really great example of what it's doing to your pipes. Think about just that iron that you use randomly, right? Maybe once you're using all your faucets and everything every day. Imagine all the buildup you're getting in that in your showers every day. And that's one of the big benefits that you can have by once you put, like, that softener or that whole home water purification system on your home. You can now take your regular tap water and put it in an iron, a steamer, a carpet cleaner, and not have to worry about killing it. Once you put that on your home, you don't have to worry about the humidifier or a tankless. It's going to keep all that stuff. And really, when you look at the investment side of it, a lot of these can be done for less than a bottle of water a day, right?
And me being I'm going to interrupt. Probably the most important conversation we're going to have today is think about the water you're giving your dog. Most people give me being a dog guy, most people they won't drink the water out of the sink, but they'll certainly fill up their dog's water bowl from the sink.
Well, that's the thing is we worry so much about, I get it, we're a home services company, but at the end of the day, I preach on your health. At the end of the day, it's your health. At the end of the day, it's what you're drinking every day. You brush your teeth with it, you shower with it, like every day you taste this water, it goes in your system. And I get it, like we worry about pipes and leaks and stuff like that, but I preach the first thing I go to is your health, because this stuff is chemicals that we don't even know what they do to make it clear. So it's like, to me, it's like that to me.
Multivitamins and vitamins in general are a billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar industry. So again, I think it's education.
Yeah,
it is.
Which is why we're doing this.
Yeah. How much maintenance is required on something like this? Somebody gets a new softener or water treatment system. How much maintenance? What do they have to do?
Not much. Not much. No. We might have to come out once, maybe a couple years, just to check up on it, make sure it's working right. If you start to taste the water funny, it's not tasting the same, just call us out. We'll go out there and check it, do a test and see what's wrong with it, or diagnose it. And just, I love them just simply because they kind of maintain themselves. You just got to keep up with it. Make sure you have somebody go out there and check it. Once a year would be great to be proactive. If you happen to forget, it's okay. Just make sure you taste the water and call us out there as soon as you can, just to check it. Here's the thing. We go out to customers that have it now, and they think it's working fine. We test the water, and it's like, you might as well just not have this. Yeah. They've some customers moved in with a softener, with a, you name it, and they're like, oh, it's tasted like this the whole time I've been here. And it's not right.
So would you recommend a whole house water treatment system over a softener, not only just for this, for that silky fill, if you don't like that?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would you? Okay. Why would you? And also for people that can't lift that bag of salt, right?
Correct.
All the time. Is that every month? Is that every 2 months? Every 3 months? I don't know what that is.
Just depends how much water you use.
If it's somebody that's elderly and they're, nobody help them, that's probably a good option to go with, right? Is the whole house water treatment system, so they're not having to lift that bag of salt.
Correct. Okay. And the reason why also is because just the kids, if you do have kids, they do get a little they start to explore a little bit, and they want to play with salt, and you don't want to there's just so much salt's just like getting heavy. You just got to leave it in the garage. You got extra, now you got bags of salt, and it's to me, wouldn't you rather just be able to drink a cup of water in the shower sometimes, or just drink straight out of the shower and just like brush your teeth and be able to rinse your mouth and then drink some water after? I mean, to me, it's just, wouldn't it? It sounds amazing,
benefits,
right? And knowing that you're kind of just, you're clearing out the arteries of your house. You know, you're knowing that your water heater's protected, knowing that everything in this house is pure.
And again, the skin.
Yeah.
The skin, it's moist.
Your skin's your, I'm going to go Dr. Rusk on you real quick, but the skin is like your largest organ in your body.
Yeah.
Did he just say Dr. Rusk?
I love
Dr.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just dropped some knowledge.
Yeah.
But you guys knew that.
I love
Good
that.
stuff.
The largest organ in your body. Take care of it.
Yeah.
What
Dry
was that again?
skin.
And
Oh,
what
was
you're
it skin?
and what you're
Skin's
putting
the
in your
largest
body.
organ in your body.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is an organ.
I never
Take
know
care
that.
of it.
I learned
Thank you,
something
Dr.
today.
Rusk.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I was going to be a doctor.
It would have went well. Dr. Rusk. I like that
I
name.
think you should have started introducing him on this as Dr. Rusk. Dr. Rusk, our guest, Dr. Rusk.
Oh, I like that.
Sounds good.
I like that a lot. You like that?
I like it a
I
lot.
like it a lot. You like that?
I like it.
All right. Well, as we wrap up here, is there anything else that we need to tell our listeners more about?
I think it'd be
water
helpful
treatment?
to explain kind of what they're looking at expense-wise. I mean, start with the filtration system. That's certainly more important than soft water.
Well,
But
it's kind
give
of
me
like
a
picking out a
range.
car. It's kind of like picking out a car. You can go to your, most affordable car to your Bentley. You know what I mean? It ranges from 3 all the way up to 6, 7, 8,000. It's just, what do you really want? It's really what you want. It's not what I can, just like I recommended what I want. It might not be his, or if I do install it, he's not going to like it. It's what you want. And at the end of the day, that's what you need to call us out for, because we will give you options. We will let you know, hey, this is what this includes, this is what doesn't include. It's just what you want. Where the range is based on what you want. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we give you options. Best fit your budget and your needs and your wants.
Yeah, and we can even start out with very basic options, like just starting with that RO under a kitchen sink so that you can start cooking and start having drinking water in the home. You're not worrying about bottled water, that kind of stuff. And, you can easily get those in, fully installed, tax light out the door and everything for less than $1,000.
Correct.
So, I mean, you'll spend that in bottled water a year. So you can get stuff like that done. And, you're not even cooking with bottled water. So this will give you that good cooking water that you can do with every day. And you can do that for pretty cheap, So I think the biggest thing is just having somebody come out and test the water. We'll do that for you. We offer a free indoor water quality test for people and just see exactly what you have going on so that we know, what kind of solutions to put together for you.
But the amount of money you're going to save on replacing appliances, water heaters, faucets, dishwashers, stuff like that, by filtering it right before it gets into the house. I think that's
And if you like to wash your car, the white spots are
Oh,
gone.
yeah. No more
that's
spots.
cool.
Yeah, no white spots.
You can hook up a hose right to the system.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we got about a minute here. Thanks for joining us, guys. There's a lot of good information. I learned a lot. I'm sure our listeners, if they have any other questions, you can comment, and you guys can answer any of the questions that they might have.
Or email at
As well.
drrusk@penguinair.com.
Dr. Rusk at email.
it's got a nice ring. I like that.
I like that. So we're going to start closing the show with a review each week. Kind of brag about our Penguin Pros, what they're doing out there. And I got a review here that came in 5 days ago. It's from C. Clifford. And it says here, we use Penguin Air to install a hot water heater. After calling around and getting quotes from other companies, we called Penguin Air, and their pricing was extremely affordable for the exact same water heater the other companies were offering. Their technician called to give a quote and was able to come out the same day and was on time and very professional. I was extremely impressed by this company and their scheduling desk to the technician who came. So, go on and review us as well. We have over 3,000 reviews on Google, and we love taking care of our customers, and that's the number one thing that we do here and talk about in our training. So customers come first,
I was just talking to Jay and Louie a little bit about how we may not have like the budget that these big companies out there have to plaster ourselves all over billboards on the freeways and all over every station on TV and all this stuff, right? But how we can separate ourselves from those large companies is by elevating the level of service in this industry.
And that's always been our goal, right, Wade? When we got into this,
Raising the bar on
it was
service.
It was, how are we going to be different than everybody else? Well, yeah, there's a lot of good companies out there, but how can you be great?
Sure.
Right? And that is taking care of the customer, taking the employees as well. Taking care of those employees will take care of the customer. We know that. That's the win-win part. And then the customer wins. So, yeah, it's a lot of options out there for everyone, but, give us a shot, and I think you'll be extremely happy. But thank you, Louie. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Rusk.
Yeah, you're welcome. By the way, like, comment, and subscribe.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
Yes, please.
I like that.
And share it with other people as well. So,
And next week I'll be singing.
oh, really?
Yes.
And get us out for a free water quality test.
Yes.
Yeah.
Singing.
But wait a minute. Singing?
I'll be singing
So you play.
next week.
Oh, man, we probably have more
Oh, boy.
viewers than ever.
I know. I think that might help us.
Viewers
actually.
and listeners.
What do you think, Jonathan?
Jay,
Should I sing?
What are you going to do?
I got the guitar.
You got the guitar?
Well, if he's singing, I'll dance.
We should have a drum kit.
We should, right? We should. See, it's done. I'm singing next week.
All right. All right.
All right. What do you guys want?
I'll bring the cowbell.
Some Kenny G.
From Kenny G? Kenny G.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Not my love.
See, I got it. That was like
That was a little
that was down
teaser?
here. That was about a 2.
Oh, man.
You don't want me at a 10.
Oh.
Yeah, the vein starts popping out.
All right.
Why, thank you.
Hopefully you subscribe and like us even more now.
And next week, we're going to talk about...
Singing.
Well, if we
Singing.
want to have Louie back, we'll talk about tankless water heaters.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Tankless.
Tank.
So,
That's the way to go.
Do we want to have him back? He's singing next week.
I don't know.
Come on.
Why don't the listeners post your questions and we'll address them on the next
That's a good idea.
the next podcast
I like that.
or the next episode
And I'll sing the questions.
Whoa.
or the answers.
You guys just don't want me to sing, huh?
I was thinking more tankless or water filtration,
Oh, okay.
RO.
All right, we're good.
We're Penguin pros. We got it all.
Yeah.
We do it all. We'll be talking about tankless water heaters, and Louie will be singing, Jay will be dancing, and Dr. Rusk will be sharing his stories.
That's me, Dr. Rusk.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.